G&T show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Star Trek, The Final Frontier. These are the voyages of the G&T show. Our continuing mission, to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to boldly go where no show has gone before.
Naomi Wildman. I was setting it up. Oh. Welcome to the G&T show, where obviously we have no script.
Yeah, let's just get this puppy started.
As always, the beautiful, the lovely, the high-booted, short-skirted, big-breasted Terry Lynn.
That would be me. Admiral Shaw.
She's badass. It's Ceridian.
Good morning. It's Sunday on the G&T show.
You know the worst part of this morning? It's not the getting up early. It's the fact they're making me wear clothes to do the show.
It's time for coffee clutch.
Strap on your helmets, boys and girls. It's gonna get rough.
Oh, it's going to be one of those mornings.
Let me put on my seatbelt, my helmet with the little blinky light on top.
For safety.
When we decided we were going to do the G&T show,
Man.
one of the things we said was no standards. G&T show does not go on the air because we're ready. It goes on the air because it's 9 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Mike could have snapped by then and killed us both. Pain sticks for Mike, evidently.
We have our production meetings on the air.
Well, it's the best way to get you to adhere to things.
Yeah, you've now set an expectation. That's the thing about the G&T show is we set no expectations.
I need more coffee.
Wow,
I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to do general news or Star Trek news, and I figured
this is
out.
Terry
Fuck it.
having a series of small
Just news.
strokes, actually.
Boy, it doesn't take long for this show to deteriorate, does it?
Straight the fuck downhill.
I don't always podcast, but when I do, I G&T.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the G&T Show, episode 149. I'm Terry Lynn.
Jolan True, bitches. Happy belated July 4th to those great Americans out there. To those that aren't, suck it. Terry's still wearing her USO girl outfit from the Captain America film. Still in the spirit, I see.
Actually, I'm in the Captain America outfit with those special boots.
Really? And there he is wearing his, I don't even know what that is. Is that the Klingon World Cup outfit? Because it's kind of hideous, actually, so I think it is. Ceridian.
Blah.
Blah.
Really? Really?
Mm-hmm.
So she's all patriotic and I'm all World Cup? Yeah, really? Thanks.
You're Klingon.
But World Cup? Really?
You gotta
Lose
give him,
honor.
you gotta give him credit for that. It was pretty lame.
Well, speaking of lame,
Let's start off the show by saying, speaking of lame, okay.
had another addition to the Klingon sitcom.
Oh no.
Really?
And remind our viewers what sitcom that is, please.
That would be the Klingons on Long Island.
That's right.
What is this new addition?
It would be a spin-off. It would be the Little Klingons. It would be about a family of dwarf Klingons living.
Oh, jeez.
Hello, I'm here for work. I'm ready to die with honor. Hello, talk to me, I'm done here.
Only on Bravo.
Yeah, exactly. I'm done. I'm down here. Hello. We represent the House of Moog Guild, the House of Moog Guild, the House of Moog Guild.
I am face palming so hard right now.
Oh, that's so
Look at them in
painful.
their tiny little armor. Little
Yeah.
I'm the size of a warrior with the heart that eats within.
That's exactly
Little
right.
tiny batless. Hey,
Dude.
here. I'm
Hey,
gonna
watch
cut your
out.
toe off.
Dude, I'm just saying, they could cut those Achilles
kneecaps.
tendons, you're done.
Yeah, going after kneecaps and shit. Can't
Femoral
fight
arteries.
on your back.
I'm just saying, one Achilles tendon and a femoral artery later and you're gone.
Oh boy.
So what'd you guys do this weekend? Let's start off Coffee Clutch right this time, considering I fucked it up so badly last week. Mikey, let's start with you.
Let's see, what have I been doing this week? I've been reading, been writing,
Sweet.
did some fireworks, with Katie. Have you noticed that, like, the Safe and Sane fireworks have actually only gotten lamer as time goes on?
No.
Oh.
We, as you can imagine, we don't shoot them off here. Nobody shoots them off here. The fire danger is so bad right now that I have to say I didn't hear any this year. I was very surprised. It was very quiet, but that's the way it needs to be.
We had like the outlier of a hurricane the entire time.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It kind of put the literal damper on things, huh?
Yeah, it poured on Friday.
Wow. So how's Katie? Did Katie enjoy them, Mikey?
She liked them, but she was like 30 feet away.
Yeah.
She the big ones from that our city puts on scared the shit out of her.
Yeah.
She was afraid that they were going to fall on her and burn.
Yeah. Oh, poor little thing.
Yeah, it's like, Katie, they're way too high. They're gonna get cold by the time they hit the ground.
She doesn't understand that though.
Yeah. So, but she handled it well. So.
And you've been writing on what?
Oh, I've been working on a STO novel, essentially. I've got Prelude completed. I'm working through chapter 1 now. First draft is done. I'm working on a second draft for it, and just taking it, a piece at a time.
Sweet. And Nick, now your hurricane. Your hurricane. Did you have to drive through that shit?
No. I flew up here. I did not sleep at all on Thursday. I took like an hour and a half nap on Thursday after work, and then at 4 a.m. I left for the airport and caught my plane at 6 and flew up here to the northern office with the lovely Janice. So I've been up here, and I fly back tomorrow night.
Hi, Janice.
Hi, Janice.
And we, yesterday, you know how YouTube leads you down various roads? Well, we had kind of one of those days yesterday. Well, it was funny, though, because on Friday we were just watching various things. I don't even remember what we were watching. And then we started watching Geek and Sundry and Felicia Day and Ryan Day playing video games. And that was funny. The one, I was crying. I was laughing so hard. But, so yesterday we were watching, some classic Trek, some of the original series, and she said something about the Vulcans' makeup, and I said, oh, well, if you want to, see something, you should watch an episode of Enterprise and see T'Pol. Well, we watched 15 episodes in a row yesterday.
Nice.
Of Enterprise.
Wow.
Janice is loving it.
I love Enterprise. I'm so glad that she does.
And she loves T'Pol.
Oh, I'm so glad that you do, Janice, because Enterprise is my second favorite show.
And it's funny because she was saying about how beautiful T'Pol is, and I said, yeah, but except for the little boy haircut, that bothers me. And I had forgotten that they had the episode Civilization, because I had said, wait until you
were watching first season.
Yeah, first season.
Okay.
Yeah, we started right from the beginning, and I said, wait till you see her later in the series, like a couple of seasons from now when her hair is long. And she, and I forgot about the episode Civilization, and I went out to get something to eat or to drink, and I came back in, and Janice looked at me, and she went, oh my God, she's beautiful, because she's like, I want to cosplay as T'Pol cosplaying.
Oh, from
Civilization.
Civilization. I thought maybe
it's like the medieval village.
Carbon Creek.
Yeah, she had her hair a little bit longer in that episode, if I remember.
Yeah, down past her shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
No, we haven't got to Carbon Creek yet. The last one we watched last night was Rogue Planet.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'm glad you're liking it. I love that show. I really do. Archer and I have some issues, but...
We watched Phlox become a genocidal maniac again last night.
I'm curious to see how she will view T'Pol during the second and third seasons. Well, especially the third season.
Especially the third season, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With the issue.
Yeah. No spoilers.
No spoiler.
No spoilers.
No spoiler.
I can't wait. I get to hug Paul in like 30 days. I'm so excited.
She's sitting here so happy, eating a bowl of Crunchberry, listening to the G&T show.
Oh, I love her.
Oh, and Friday. Friday? What day did I fly?
Thursday.
No, Thursday.
Thursday.
Friday was July 4th. Terry knows better than we do. So Thursday. Oh my God. Thursday we went to the mall, and I got my ear pierced.
Oh, okay, cool.
I used to have it pierced, and I wanted to do it again.
You're retiring soon. I'm loving
exactly.
this. That's so great.
Mike
well,
says,
Alan and I, it was kind of a crazy busy week at work, and not surprising, but able to get through some things. And of course, for Alan, it was end of the month, and So he had to close the books and everything. So it was just kind of a crazy week for both of us.
I'm sorry. You go, for Alan, it was end of the month. Almost like a guy would say, it's end of the month.
Yeah. Is there a hormonal fluctuation? I don't know. I think for most accountants there probably is. I'll have to ask Grimagination soon. And then I don't know if you saw the tweet, but yesterday we were able to get down to the doing a little bit of shopping for sound equipment for the con.
I saw that.
I saw that.
Very excited. So we got a nice 2 mics set up for the booth and a portable digital recorder, so we can have somebody out on the floor doing interviews. And watched. I think we watched Thor twice.
Really?
Yeah, it was on. It was on TV. It was on. Who's doing a Marvel? They're doing a Marvel marathon every night, and so on Friday night it was Thor, and then Captain America 1, and last night was Thor and Iron Man 1 and 2. So they're doing a whole bunch of Marvel films.
Speaking of which, I have a little plea to put out there.
Oh.
Hey, Netflix, on July 4th, we were going to watch Captain America, but you don't have it on Netflix streaming. What's up with that?
I don't think they can. I don't think Disney.
They have the Avengers.
And they don't have Captain America. Oh, the event. Huh. Because we were looking for Thor 2 last night and couldn't find it.
I don't know. I just got the look because it's like it's my fault that the stream keeps going in and out.
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
I'm getting the look, Mike. I'm getting the look, Mike.
Well, it keeps going up and down. It gets as low as like 60 to 70, which is dropout time, and then it stabilizes at about 120, 130, and then
how weird
bit of fluctuation is not abnormal, but getting down to that low, we haven't seen in a while. We may have to restart the stream here in a little bit if it doesn't go up. I've shut down everything I can shut down on my end.
Okay.
You want to restart it?
Let's just give it a few minutes to see if this helps.
Okay. Hopefully it will, and if not, we'll always stop, and we can always edit out because I'm still recording on our end. Oh, and you are too. So
well, I forgot to hit the record button. So oops, I'm missing a backup. So yeah.
So I have to send you the show today.
No, I still have the other backup.
Oh, okay. I was going to say because we always do like 2 backups. That's right. Well, I'm
redundantly redundant.
He is redundantly redundant, but in a good way.
Pacific.
So yeah, it was a kind of a but the big thing is that we busted our asses on Friday. We refinished our front door, that big wooden front door that we have.
Yeah, the dungeon door.
Yeah, the dungeon door has been re-oiled, and it's all pretty now. It's all Danish oil, and so it's all happy. And then Alan, we put Danish oil and refinished a desk that he has that we've been trying to get into the office for over a year now. So he'll be putting a coat of polyurethane on that today. So we've been doing like carpentry stuff. It's been pretty funny.
Speaking of your house,
yes.
Thursday night, Janice and I were watching the movie Wild Hogs. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yeah, it was all filmed here.
Okay, yeah. Well, there's the part with the chili festival and the dude singing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Janice starts laughing. And I'm like, what? And she goes, oh my God, I could see that being Jim. I'm like, Jim? Jim who? She's like, Jim. I'm like, no. And she's like, the Ferris anomaly. And then I'm looking at him. He looked like, and I just busted out laughing. I was like, I can see it.
Well, it's very funny is that that was being filmed here when my aunt and uncle and a couple of my cousins were visiting a few years ago, and they went down to Albuquerque when it was being filmed. And as it is in New Mexico, if you come across a film crew, it's just so much more casual than it is at any other kind of a filming site. The people, I don't know, it's just so they met John Travolta and the whole gang.
They met Marissa Tomei.
I don't think she was with them at the time, but still, I thought it was pretty funny that they were like, oh, they're filming. I said, why don't you go down there? And they totally did. Came back with autographs and everything. It was very cute.
And then, as a matter of fact, hey, Netflix, why has Galaxy Quest?
Yeah, I don't understand what it is about the license that Netflix does or doesn't get. I understand that they're still skipping pretty bad, so I think that we're going to stop the stream and have Mike restart it and go from there.
Okay, for our affiliates up and down the line, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Good time for commercial.
Doctor, I would speak with you regarding some discomfort I'm having. Sure, Sulek. What seems to be the trouble? In private, if you don't mind, Doctor. Don't worry about Nurse Bordenson. She's busy with her duties. That patient on the bed there went into cardiac arrest a few minutes ago. Now what's troubling you? Come on, out with it. I'm a doctor. There's nothing I haven't heard. Well, I've been on this mission, out in deep space for 6 years now. It was about a year before I got the assignment
Say
that
no more,
son. I've got just the thing. Medical science has advanced to the point where we've almost licked the common cold. Blood fever? No problem. Not anymore. Now there's Vulcaden, Ponfar Reliever. It magically erases all symptoms associated with the Vulcan mating ritual. I have tried medications before, Doctor, but you've never tried Vulcaden. Just take 2 of these and you'll be right as rain. You are right, Doctor. I feel 98.35% better already. Ask your doctor about Vulcaden. There's no need to fear Ponfar. Side effects may include weight gain, weight loss, hair loss, ear pain, stomach upset, diarrhea, incontinence, flatulism, irritation of the inner eyelid, round ears, and priapism, a mind meld lasting more than 4 hours. If you experience any of these, call your doctor immediately. Patients with an allergy to plomeek root should not take Vulcaden.
Take this bitch live.
Let's do this. All right, we're trying this again, and hopefully you guys can hear us. Tell us if you can. We now have a backup way. Oh, look, Nick,
what?
I just want to make sure people can hear you too.
Oh.
So, yeah, hopefully this works. I have a feeling that my connection may be going out today.
Yep, I was going to say, it sounds to me like it's a broadband issue, like it goes up and down in waves.
Mm-hmm. So if I disappear...
Know where you're at, okay.
Joy Stovocore.
All right. Well, I'm not getting any negative feedback. Oh, so much better. Yay. Okay, Sunsail. Well, that's what happens when I learn how to. I can actually. I'm learning how to do this now. I can transmit myself. So, how about if we?
I haven't had to transmit myself since I've been up here.
Gotta lose a lot of lotion. So
I am now redundant.
That is so not true. So not true. You have no idea that.
Hey, look at me down here. I'm not redundant.
Yeah, I'll give you the bat left myself, my dear.
Can you imagine, though? Actually, for certain jobs, you would want a little person, like getting in those tight areas and stuff in engineering. Just saying.
Jeffrey's tubes?
Yeah.
They can stand up rather than crawl?
Right. And is it me, or did the Jeffrey's tubes on the Enterprise always look... Okay, so we've got all this technology, but let's still make the plate, the deck, metal, so that it's just brutal on the hands and knees to crawl.
And the hands and knees, I know. Yeah, I have to say, yeah, that one kind of cracked me up. But think about...
Would you rather have,
carpeting?
Carpeting?
Yes.
Or at least give them... I'm just saying, under OSHA rules, you would totally get a pair of knee pads.
Or they... Exactly. Or they could have made it like that spongy type flooring.
Yeah, a rubber floor. That's it.
Yeah.
Dennis, that's exactly right.
Exactly, Paul. They have rubber floors for gyms, but somehow the Enterprise doesn't have one.
All right.
And question.
Yes.
Holodeck question. Okay.
Yes.
So things from the holodeck cannot leave the holodeck, except for us.
It's like Vegas. What happens there?
What you bring in goes out.
Well then, how did Picard get hit by the snowball from Wesley?
When the doors open, it extends a little bit, just a little bit further.
Yeah, you're trying too hard, Mike.
No. It said so. There is something that says it extends just a few feet beyond the door.
We've seen it. We've seen it in TNG. We've seen it in Voyager. It doesn't just end at the door. It does extend a little bit further, at least when the door's open.
Right.
That's lame.
It is lame, but
because remember the episode
they do it for comedy's sake, right?
Well, remember the episode? I think it was the first Moriarty episode. Was it? Well, I remember a gangster wanting to take over the ship, and he ends up stepping out into the corridor, turns, takes a couple steps. Almost as soon as he's out of the shadow of the door, he just
the long goodbye and the long goodbye.
Yeah, I think so.
Look at Paul throwing out Cyrus Redblock. Damn, you're on fire today, Paul.
No kidding. And see, I think it depends on the location of the particular holo emitter. There you go. I like it.
Poor Janice. We get to the episode, and as soon as I saw the title, I was like, wrist nipple? She's like, what? I'm like, wrist nipple?
Trips, and it's not just wrist nipple, it's Trips wrist nipple.
Trips wrist nipple.
Trips wrist nipple. Trips wrist nipple. Did I lose you guys?
No.
Oh,
nope.
Okay. I scared you.
So do we have news?
We have Star Trek news. Not a lot, but some. Shall we get to it?
Yes.
Shall we?
Star Trek news? I am so proud to be a talkie geek.
We've got our problems with the film, which we'll get into on our dopey little podcast and nitpick it to death.
Star Trek news?
So congratulations to the always dreamy David Mack.
There's Legos?
No. Star Trek news?
Yes, the story behind the story. The movie that never was made.
They got a Klingon!
I know.
Sold.
Klingon, that's right, I'm gonna throw in a Buck Mackay rookie card. That's right, a Buck Mackay for people, it doesn't get any bigger than this.
Star Trek news?
Let's start off. I had this week from whatculture.com. You know, you always get the wonderful top 10 something or other, or the 10 coolest scenes in such and such. This week, What Culture has the 20 most cringeworthy Star Trek film moments. I have to agree with them on a lot of these. Some of them not so much. Broad comedy doesn't make me cringe so very much. Sometimes it does. It just depends on my mood. But some of these, what bothered me the most was that there's at least 3 or 4 cringeworthy moments from the new Trek films that I think deserve honor on this list that he totally ignored. So whatever.
I'm trying to take a look at these.
I know. The con moment.
Why is that cringeworthy?
Well, that's what I'm laughing about. Is I don't know. This guy's got a prima donna written all over it. I guess I don't know.
The one from Into Darkness was cringeworthy, in my opinion, not the other way around.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I would agree with you on that one.
So
McCoy's Vulcan nerve pinch, that was hilarious.
See, and that's anything that goes for humor, this guy totally tears apart.
Good morning,
somehow
Captain.
Star Trek can't be funny. And I'm thinking, since when? Star Trek has always been funny. It has always had the humor.
I have had enough of you. He's got that on there as cringeworthy. That was the culmination of him, and then killed his kid, and he's still trying to say, this guy's a dick.
I knew this would set you off, and I'm loving it.
Nuclear vessels?
Yeah, he didn't like the nuclear vessels.
That was improv.
Which I thought was hilarious. I thought the interrogation scene of Chekhov was hilarious.
Yes.
Because, I don't know, maybe this guy wasn't alive in the 80s or anything, but dude, this was funny shit.
Smiling Vulcans. Okay.
But how do we know
the smiling
they're
Vulcan
Vulcans?
you have to give him credit for. Huh?
But how do we know they're Vulcans?
Well, what are they, Romulans?
No, but they could be a colony from the Vulcans that are not wedded to the logic.
Retcon. Way too retcon. There's my man.
Okay, camping scenes I'm going to go with. Camping
Yeah, the
scenes
camping
actually
scene
should be a
totally
lot
go
higher.
with, right?
They should be a lot higher.
What else is next? Because I think I stopped
Scotty
after
Uhura
that.
romance.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
That
yeah, that was oogie.
The fan dance.
was oogie.
The fan dance.
If the fan dance had been 15 years earlier.
Okay, I can see that one. Why
Okay.
does Chekhov keep making the list?
Okay, back off with the boots is cringe-inducing, but at the same time, I don't know, I really like that scene.
Which scene was
the
this?
Cinderella, if the
boots
shoe
fit.
fits, if the boots
Oh,
fit.
yeah.
Okay, Uhura trying to speak Klingon? Yeah.
Yeah, that one was painful.
That was painful on many, many levels because I always expected her to be far more intelligent than that. I like the new Uhura better than the old Uhura on that
I
one.
was going to say, the new films handled her better than...
I would
the
agree
previous
with you
films.
wholeheartedly.
Oh,
At least
he's upset with the slow clap at the end of Star Trek 6?
Oh, I am
Stop it.
too. I hate that. I hate it. I even told Alan, I said, I love this movie to death, except for that scene. The slow clap tableau. Oh my God, it's so bad.
I'm gonna go with him on this. Data's attempt at humor.
Oh, the jokes?
He was
In
just-
Generations.
He just got the emotion chip. He's, exploring,
Who knew that he would like, I'm just saying, I know a lot of people like him. I know a lot of people who like that kind of humor. My father was one of them.
Picard's fantasy life in Generations.
You wanted to see my father weep with laughter, and I do mean seriously weep with laughter. Just put on a Roadrunner cartoon.
This fucking fucknut has drunk Troy as number 5 in the 20 most cringeworthy.
And I am
Drunk
so
Troy
pissed
was
because it's one of the best. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the best scenes ever in a Star Trek film.
Well, she's used to, synthahol. And
Right,
she's given,
but
the real
why
stuff.
is it cringeworthy? It's hilarious.
I don't know why it's cringeworthy.
Hey, you to criticize my counseling skills.
It was the most human we ever saw.
Yeah.
He's got a problem with Magic Carpet Ride?
He has a big problem. I think yeah, I don't know. He has a big problem with a lot of
device.
stuff.
I'm there with him.
Yeah,
Where?
that one was kind of like, what the hell?
The which one?
Data is a flotation device.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, so gonna go with a British tar.
Yeah, that was bad too.
The wedding reception?
I thought it was
As
sweet.
number one. Oh my gosh.
It's just this guy really just hates TNG or something. I don't know.
Well, I have to agree with Kush. This dude has problems.
This guy has some serious problems. So either way, if you want to give him a piece of your mind, the link is on our show and will be on our show notes as well. Yep. The next piece of news is there's a personalized sculpture you can now order from StarTrek.com through the Brandford exchange. Of course, that means it'll be very expensive. Yeah, and likewise, it is $98.09. Did you see it?
Yes, it's beautiful.
It's really kind of cool. It is personalizable. It is a Starfleet kind of like a communicator emblem, and then it sits on top of a United Federation of Planets flag. And then it's got a little plaque that you can personalize with pretty much anything that you want, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah. What would you, if you were going to get this, what would you put there? Would you put your name? Would you put a message?
I would probably put a message.
Yeah, me too. I would like, kind of like find a nice quote that would go along with it.
I have to say, I really do like, and I've used it even in my own fanfic, but it was from Titan, from the first book, and I would probably go with forward, always forward.
Right on. How about you, Nick?
I think I would have long live the Romulan Star Empire.
Yeah, you would.
Wow.
The other bit of interesting news is that
you know what though? No, I might go with second star to the right, straight on till morning.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah,
that'd be a really good one. The next piece of news is Robert Picardo, one of our favorite people ever, is selling his home in Pasadena. And if you've got $7.2 million to spare,
I only have 7.
That looks beautiful.
It is a gorgeous Tudor home in Pasadena. Now that I've seen it, I look at it and I think,
everything. That's awesome.
Dude, I have totally been by this house a bazillion times. It's like, I know exactly where that house is. Yeah, a really nice neighborhood in Pasadena, just saying. But he bought it. The good news for him is he bought it for like $1.3 million. He bought it for $1.75 million in 2000. He's selling it for $7. Talk about a return on your investment.
The market's been good for him.
Oh, well, Pasadena never really hurts. It's for a lot of people who work in the industry, Pasadena is like a perfect place to live because you can get to downtown and to Burbank and the other studios to the north within 15 or 20 minutes.
I don't know if I like the idea of the doctor living in that house. It just seems way too much for the doctor.
Well, he's either, what kind of is like, I wonder where he's moving. I don't want him to, I wonder where he's moving. So maybe he's just had enough of Pasadena.
Really? With the zebra skin chairs? Bob, baby.
There are 20 photos of the home, but it is a beautiful home. Yes. Oh my God, it's on the ornate side for my taste.
Yeah, it is. Ooh, the sunroom's beautiful.
It's wood everything. I mean,
that's a Tudor home for you.
The sunroom is gorgeous.
It's a gorgeous place. Yeah, it is 8,742 square feet. Tudor 6-bedroom, 5-bath, and attic storage. Even has a game room.
God, what a gorgeous kitchen.
So again, if you want to take a look at the house, the link is on the show notes, and fast that one sells. And that's kind of it for general Star Trek news. I want to pop in and let's start talking about the convention.
I do have something in Star Trek news.
Oh, good.
Bob Orsi.
Oh, what's he up to now?
Nothing. Just wanted to say it. I'm gonna take the advice that your friend gave, and I'm gonna give him the benefit. But here's little free advice for Bob Orsi and the crew. Secrecy does not equal sales. Don't be fucking going over the top like you're fucking Delta Force getting ready for a mission.
I don't think that they will be, but I am sure that there's a how do I say this? A caution that they're having about what information they are going to leak, when they're going to leak it. And I think that a lot of that's coming out of, let's face it, JJ and the gang at Disney are handling it right. And how are they handling it right? Did you see what Kevin Smith did this week with them?
He cried.
That's how we got into watching. I'm sorry. I was showing Janice some Kevin Smith stuff. You know, like how he does his Q&As with the audiences and stuff.
Yep.
And I was trying to show her, you know, what a cool guy he is.
I love him. I mean, it's like Seth MacFarlane, too. God, speaking of Seth MacFarlane, what he did for Reading Rainbow.
Yep.
How much did he wind up matching?
I don't know.
He matched the full $1 million.
He did match the full $1 million? That's fantastic. They were able to pull $2 more million out of that.
That was awesome when I saw that he did that.
$5 million plus his matching $1 million, so that's $6 million. And then they went over, I think it was like 300,000 or 400,000. I think it was 400,000.
And for every $100,000 they went over, they were able to help another 500 classrooms. That's just so amazing. I know. I love Seth MacFarlane. And he, like Kevin Smith, if you don't like their humor, I can totally understand that. Because their humor is extremely crass. And it's not politically correct in any sense of the... But it's the same reason why I still love South Park. They are so totally offensive that you're going to end up being offended by them one way or another. But they offend everybody
They're
equally.
Equal opportunity offenders.
Oh my God, they so
without
are.
a doubt.
And Kevin Smith is the same way. They make no apologies for how offensive they can be. But when it comes down to them as people, I love them. I absolutely love them as people.
One of the Kevin Smith things we were watching was it was a Q&A with him, and the girl was 12 years old that asked him a question, and he said, "Who's the irresponsible person that brought you here?"
Yeah,
to see me.
I mean, and it's so cute because you've seen how he has raised his own daughter.
He's a big kid. Kevin Smith is still a big kid.
And his wife, did you see what his wife posted about their anniversary?
No.
Oh my God, it was so funny. It's hilarious. It was, and what he posted about did you know they got married at the ranch at Lucasfilms?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And he posted the pictures of their wedding.
Oh, he's such a fanboy.
Oh my God. It was just, I don't know. I love him. I love him. I love him. And so when I saw the picture of him that he tweeted when he cried and had the thumbs up, I thought, oh shit, if he approves, if this guy approves, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And what's pissing me off is that I knew that it would be. And why did I know that it would be? Because Orsi, Kurtzman, and Lindelof weren't writing the fucking thing. I never had a problem with J.J. Abrams as a director, but I'll be damned. And I'm jealous. I'm still jealous. I think Star Wars fans are getting the best, just the best opportunities for a better film. Huh?
Speaking of Lindelof, there's a new series that premiered that I was excited to watch, and I watched the first episode, and then I realized it was a Damon Lindelof series, but I actually still enjoyed it. What the fuck? It just premiered. I'm sure somebody in the chat room will
to be honest with you, so many shows that are coming out.
The Leftovers.
Oh.
On HBO. It's Lindelof.
Alan and I saw an ad for that, and we both went, oh my God, you're kidding. I don't know. Well, either, back to Star Trek convention news, shall we?
Shall we?
Shall we just start right off the bat with a Las Vegas update?
Are we still talking Vegas, right?
We are.
Vegas.
Yes. You're coming to Vegas, right?
Star Trek Las Vegas may take place every August, but on this show...
This is where we hang out the rest of the year.
Exactly.
The crew has been fatigued now from so many months in space, and they need to take a break. The landing party has beamed down to check out the terrain while the crew gets ready to play. They say there's only plant life living on this lovely rock, but a rodent appears wearing a vest.
The big news is, yes, number 100 was announced this week, and it is Harlan Ellison.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah, I thought you would find that very interesting.
I'm not sure how to feel about that. I mean, I'm excited, but do I really want to go there to get yelled at?
I'm thinking...
And now I just got served with papers from Harlan Ellison.
I did have to laugh. I was like, oh, wow, Harlan Ellison.
Actually, he may not be around much longer, to be honest, so...
I am very surprised by that. I really am very surprised by that. Because
are we going to get to hear how Gene fucked up Sid in the Edge of Forever?
I'm sure we will.
Because haven't heard that in a day. More papers just got served.
Go for the 3. Go for the 3.
I mean, the guy's brilliant. There's no denying it.
Right.
Sometimes we're just a little stuck on ourselves, Harlan. And there's 3.
And there's 3. The other Star Trek convention news that we have is sad. It is sad. Our good friends Charity and Chris Wood will not be in attendance.
Shut up! No!
I know. I am so sad. Chris posted it on Facebook this morning and said that he and our lovely friend from Bye Bye Robot, our lovely friends from Bye Bye Robot, that he and the 2 of them will not be able to make the trip. So I am very sad because they've always been really fun to be neighbors with in the vendor's room. And I'm sad. So,
I'm making a grumpy cat face.
I know. But it's getting there. I mean, now that we have the sound equipment ready, and now we have to test it to make sure it works. And then, of course, don't forget.
Be there to offer tech support, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, we're going to be using that phone a lot, I think, because it's going to be, kind of a tech heavy situation. But we got some things working on in the background that I have to answer a couple of emails on. I've been so busy. But the convention is now. So now they have 100 guests, which was their goal. Some of our favorite friends will not be in attendance. The Wood, Charity and Chris Wood, and Ernie and Pincushion won't be there. But the good news is that there will be people that we have yet to meet in person. So Baz and Woody.
Really? That's a good thing? Baz is a good thing?
Yeah,
Woody's going to be there. I thought Woody wasn't going to be there till next year, or the 50th.
When's Woody going to be there?
I thought he wasn't going to be there till the 50th.
Maybe it won't be. It is Baz, though. Baz is coming.
Yeah, I'd rather have Kush there.
I know, but Kush.
Baz. Baz.
Woody is not there this year. Okay. Oh, look. Steve changed his name to the right name. All right. Casmodian and Kirkfat will be there. And Paul, P.F. Dennis, of course.
Yeah, Paul's going to be there.
Drogon's going to be there. So a lot of Foundry guys, which is great. Speaking of Foundry, we need you to...
Helena. Why am I blanking on his name?
Hav? I don't know if Hav will be there or not. I don't know. Hav will be there? Sweet.
He'll be there?
Oh, no. Okay. Rogue Enterprise will be there?
I don't know if you've seen, I've had a thing going on Twitter lately.
Oh?
It all started with, I don't want to tell you how I know this, but Brian Doyle Murray will be the fall of Western civilization.
I don't know where this came from. And it's that time of the word. We should just call this segment the Nick pulls it out of his ass segment.
We could have peace in the Middle East if it wasn't for Brian Doyle Murray.
Oh, no. Where am I looking?
Speaking of convention news, 61 days until Baltimore Comic-Con, which the G&T show will be representing at.
Yes.
September 5th, 6th, and 7th in the Baltimore Convention Center in beautiful Inner Harbor, Baltimore, downtown. And really, it is beautiful down there. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the premier Comic-Cons in the country. And this is pure Comic-Con. This is not like...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. It's definitely geared for the comic book enthusiast and fan, the graphic novel enthusiast and fan.
I don't even think there's any actors. It's all comic book people.
Which is great.
Great. Including Greg Capullo, if you're a comic book fan, John K. Snyder III, Frank Cho, Billy Martin. Wow, they're bringing him back from the dead. Interesting.
Not that Billy Martin.
Oh. Now, see, I don't want to get yelled at by Harlan
Ellison. Is the other David Mack going to be there?
The artist is, yes.
Yeah, the other David Mack. That's what I call him.
The good
other
David Mack.
Right. Not David Allen Mack, but David Mack.
See, I don't mind getting yelled at by Billy Martin, but Harlan Ellison, I don't want to get yelled at by, but Billy Martin, I do. I'm trying to see. No, Neil Adams is not. Oh, Ron Mars, the guy from Witchblade and Magdalena and all of those.
And then my favorite.
Gail Simone's not going to be there.
Oh, well, I love her. Yeah. But no, David Peterson.
Yep, he'll be there.
Hard.
Oh, just what? Who's
David Peterson does Mouse Guard.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, Mouse Guard is a graphic novel. Started off as a graphic novel and has a couple of, I wouldn't even call them one shots as much as it was a wonderful kind of 4 comic book release of Mouse Guard that were done by other artists, where other artists came in as a tribute to Mouse Guard, and they drew what was, for all intent and purposes, a Mouse Guard kind of captain's table where all of the mice were in the pub and telling a story. And so each artist got to tell a story that was told by the point of view of a different mouse. So the art style got to change and everything. If you guys have never dealt with mouse guards, have never read it, then you're missing something truly incredible and very, very special. And it's also got an extremely popular role-playing game that is so popular you can't get it. They reprint it. And the moment that it reprints, it sells out. It is that popular. Even Oren plays it. That tells you something.
Wow.
Love Mouse Guard. So great. I think we should move on. We have a lot to talk about, actually, when it comes to Star Trek.
What'd you have, Mike?
Mike, you got?
Yeah, real quick before we move on. Any Foundry authors out there, we are still planning on displaying
your trailers.
Trailers, yes. So if you have them, get them out to me. Send me a link, address, someplace where I can find the files or the video, and we'll make sure to get them played at our booth.
Yep. Because what I'm going to need is I'm going to need to have them kind of placed into one simple file that I can hit play, and it'll just play, and
I'll make sure to get them to you in a neat, easy, organized manner.
Great, because we're going to have our projector there. And a nice screen. So we'll be playing the Foundry trailers. We'll be playing slides of other information. And we'll also be showing the trailer for Are You Our Genesis, as well as anything else that Mr. Kerwin wants me to.
We'll be showing happy little trailers.
And Alan is showing up Entertainment Weekly with Halle Berry. Shut up.
What?
Holy shit, you guys.
What?
Alan just came in with, oh my God. And Alan just came in with Entertainment Weekly magazine.
Okay.
All right.
It's a weekly magazine about entertainment.
Okay, and this week's cover is Halle Berry. On what page is this? They don't number their pages? They don't, do they? It's an advice it's a question, and you guys are going to shit your pants. There is a Q&A column, a brand new Q&A column in Entertainment Weekly called Ask Dalton.
What?
I swear to God. Draw your own conclusions. Are they now? Huh?
Time to stick our lawyers.
What the fuck, Entertainment Weekly?
Okay, Harlan Ellison, get him.
Alan just came in going, holy shit. Dayton, my dear, I say we take him on, sweetheart.
Yeah, because we're at 103 Ask Daytons now, and it's been all over the place.
And the first question out of the bat is, should I feel bad about smuggling Snowda and snacks into a movie theater? Son of a bitch! Entertainment Weekly, I want your ass. We must have been taking away some of their audience. They had to compete with us by coming up with some guy whose name sounds remarkably like Dayton.
Well, no, that guy Dalton, he's
Dalton Ross, yeah.
Yeah, he's written for them, I think, since the beginning.
Don't you think it's a little bit odd?
Little odd, and I guarantee he's not half as witty as Dillmore.
Absolutely, as Dillmore. Son of a bitch. Oh, God.
I think so. I think everyone listening within the sound of our voice should write in to Ask Dalton and ask, why are you copying the G&T show?
I command it. The booth command it.
Seriously.
That's funny.
Oh, my God. That is shut the fuck up. That is too funny.
And speaking of,
what's next? We do. But what's next? Escape Pod 1?
We haven't had a Life Pod 1 in a long time.
I know. We do have an Ask Dayton, Michael.
Yeah. Let's do it.
It's number 103.
Oh my God.
Did you see who's here?
No.
Our special guest this week, none other than the man, the myth, the legend, author extraordinaire. Just ask him, Dayton Ward.
Up in here.
He's delicious.
The man is a sage.
Dayton Ward is here. Hi, Dayton.
Hello, Dayton.
Hello, Newman.
And Mark just handed him his complimentary gin and tonic for the G&T show, so that's always good.
Oh, that's good.
Firefly vodka. See, if we knew he was coming, we would have taken him to the green room with the green women.
God damn it, go read the Ask Dayton.
Oh, Dayton.
Dayton.
Dayton Ward is Grumpy Cat.
Dayton Ward, troller of trolls.
He's such a diva.
Pay attention, Ask Dayton fans. Everybody got their pad and pencil ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Would you like to be a part of the Ask Dayton experience?
Send your questions to hosts at gntshow.com.
Dear Dayton, what kind of pleasures or horrors torment the mind of Dayton when you sleep? Do you find any of your dreams or nightmares inspire your writing? Thanks.
I remember this question.
Dayton's response. Do you have any idea what you're asking? Are we really sure we want to go down this rabbit hole? I mean, I can't be held responsible for any mental scarring you might endure on this particular journey into the macabre. FYI, yo. So, how best to describe the subconscious mind of Dayton Ward? Well, the closest comparison I could ever hope to make comes to us from the venerable Rod Serling himself. There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space, and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is a dimension of imagination, in an area which we call the twilight of Dayton's sleeping brain. Yep, that's pretty much it. There's been one of those picture meme things going around lately, offering a flippant attempt at explaining a creative person's mind. It reads, if you ever want to know what a creative person's mind feels like, imagine a browser with 2,857 tabs open all the time. That's just when they're awake. Now try going to bed with all that active and pinging away. I can't speak for other writers or creative types, but for me, it doesn't matter how tired I am at the end of the day. It doesn't matter that my mind has congealed into oatmeal. Even as my head hits the pillow, there's almost always something clicking and clacking up in my brain housing group. You don't just shut off that noise, so you have to wonder where the line is drawn between pre-sleep mental gymnastics and actual dreaming. Fuck if I know. And to make things worse, I'm one of those people who don't do very well remembering most of their dreams. So, thanks, Mr. Sandman. Bring me a dream and then yank that shit away when the alarm goes off. You dick. That said, I do remember the odd nocturnal delirium, and it's usually one of the flavors most of us tend to experience when we dream, like falling or being chased. I've fallen off bridges and cliffs and been chased by everything from bears to zombies to Darth Vader. Maybe all of that happens at the same time, depending on how much I've had to drink that night or if I've opted for fourth meal at Taco Bell. As for nightmares, I can't remember the last time I had an honest-to-God, goodness, holy shit nightmare that was something my brain made up just to dork me out of a good night's sleep. When I do have the occasional nightmare, it's usually something twisted version of an unpleasant memory I'd rather stay buried. So, I wake up sad or mad at having that thrown back in my face. And yes, I often find a way to channel that into my writing because fuck you, Ed, for making me start my day like that. I guess you can call that a sort of cheap therapy, right? Come on, Dayton, I hear somebody shouting from the back row. What's the weirdest dream or worst nightmare you've ever had? Well, this one recurs every so often, in which I'm trapped in a dungeon and forced to answer question after question given to me on scrolls passed through a hole in a rock wall. What the fuck's up with that?
Thank you, Dayton.
Thank you, Dayton. The Dayton who is not that other guy from that other magazine.
It's Dayton, not Dalton.
Yeah.
Ward, Dayton Ward.
Let's talk a little bit about Star Trek Online.
I want to play Star Trek Online.
Engineering here. Warp engines are online.
Course laid in, Captain.
Engage.
Your ship.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Your crew.
Move out.
Your destiny.
Oh.
What was that? Was that exasperation?
No, actually, it isn't. It is.
Hey, why did Nick yell at me this week on Twitter or Facebook about what we talked about last week?
Who?
Oh.
Tate?
Let me see if I can track that down. I remember. It was Duded.
Something about that I said recycling storylines.
He gave you shit for that?
Yeah.
I love
Truth
Tumor
hurts.
Boy. I love Tumor Boy. He's like did you know he's like this massive tank fan?
Yep.
He got the tank museum and everything. He's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, those pictures were cool. Those pictures he posted were really cool.
I know he would have totally been leaking plasma coolant to see some of the things I saw in Iraq.
I don't know if that's a good thing. That's not a good thing.
No, the good kind of plasma coolant leak.
No,
I mean like the Iraqi tank boneyard, where all the old Iraqi T-72, well, not T-72s, but like the old Russian tanks and stuff they had were.
Huh. Well, I need to send out a very vocal, very public apology to Captain Echo again. Apparently, I failed to let him know that we weren't going to be having a conversation with him yesterday. He may have sat around waiting for us.
Were we supposed to?
I did not set it up, and we knew you were traveling, so we decided last week we wouldn't do it.
Right.
But I guess Al may have thought that we were, and so I am a bad girl. Yeah.
Al,
So,
you can spank Terry when you see her.
Yes.
I'm not sure who will get more enjoyment out of that.
I want to bring Amy. And
Oh, yeah.
so we're
It's getting better all the time.
I'm apologizing just professionally and profusely to Al that I am very sorry that we did not get a chance to talk to you, because I'm reading more and more stuff about the changes coming with the new crafting system in Star Trek Online, which they are calling R&D, research and development. And I'm seeing how more and more it's going to play a lot like the crafting system in Neverwinter does, which does not offend me. I actually like the crafting system a little bit in Neverwinter. I even repatched Neverwinter and jumped back in not too long ago to double check on how things worked, and I'm still real low level on a lot of that stuff, but it does. I kind of like it. I kind of like the way that it works. I'm still a little bit concerned, and I'm hoping that we can sit down with him and talk to him and kind of go over some of everybody else's concerns. So if you have specific concerns about the new crafting system in Star Trek Online, do me a favor and send us an email to hosts@gntshow.com. That way we can have Al address those concerns specifically. That would be great. I know a lot of it is regarding dilithium involvement, especially seeing as though, Mike, you and I talked, that dilithium involvement does not happen until the higher levels, correct?
From what I've seen, yes, which isn't quite so bad. What my concern was that the dilithium involvement would be much sooner, and it would kind of force people to not work together or whatnot. And obviously, this is another one of those systems. From what I can tell, this is another one of those systems where it's pretty much single player. Kind of disappointed about that.
Right, and it is in Neverwinter as well.
Never mind. I'm not gonna beat the horse.
No.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Why do we have to spend dilithium when we had a whole speech in a movie about how it doesn't work that way? That there's no need for money. So why are we spending dilithium?
Well, because they're trying to make a game in modern day Earth where money does matter, and the shareholders would like to get a return on their investment. I'm just saying.
I'm starting to think that STO takes place in an alternate timeline where the Ferengi are kind of like top of the Federation.
Ferengi are the overlords.
Yeah, not so. That's actually probably pretty
accurate. Have you ever gone into the mission, the one where they've come through and you're defending the Ferengi and they want you to pay, and just been like want to warp out because like fuck you, I'm not paying you to defend you.
Right, which I think is damn funny. Face it, that's funny, and that's exactly what they would do.
I know.
So I have less of a problem with the dilithium involvement at higher levels, namely because dilithium is involved at the higher level gear on your fleet stuff too. When you go to your fleet stores, not only does it take the number of provisions that your fleet has earned, but also it does take personal dilithium to buy those items from the fleet store. So they're keeping the costs I'm assuming that's what they're doing, is they're keeping the costs for comparable gear kind of in the same ballpark.
Did you see the second, did you see some of the high-end rewards that they're offering through the crafting system?
I saw the crafting systems part 2, which by the way, I will copy and put into the chat room, and noticed that they are which I'm actually excited about, redoing the Aegis set.
Yeah.
And, but I think I got myself all confused again, because our science, engineering, and tactical considered schools? Because when I went into Tribble, the only schools I saw were actual like weapon variant types. So it would be beams, cannons, shields.
I haven't been in this week, but from last week there were like 7 or 8 different schools, and none of each one was geared towards for instance the beams. Obviously, that's kind of like a tactical.
Right.
So exactly. So it kind of sort of grouped up together to where you can kind of see where the lines were. But for the most part, for me, I would have liked. I know I'm keep mentioning the same thing, keep going around in circle. But I would have liked to, for instance, if you're a tactical captain, that you only can do the tactical items, and then you have to work with someone else, say an engineer, to get the engineering.
You would like to have seen that.
That's what I would have liked to have seen.
I agree. The problem
with that is not everybody's in the fleet.
I think that's great. No, I think that people would find a way to reconnect with each other. My concern is that the only reason why that won't work is because at the higher levels you have dilithium involvement.
Dilithium kills that. Yeah.
And so dilithium kills interactivity in what's supposed to be an MMO. This crafting, which should be a way for all of us to connect as players with each other, to have need for another player to do something that you can't. It gets killed because you can't trade dilithium.
I get killed when you do like the reputation stuff, and you open the box that you get from the reputation. When you do, and it's only for your character. You know how much shit I've jettisoned because of that I could have given, even put in the fleet bank.
Well, it should be. I agree, Nick. I agree. It should be at least account, bound. Character. But if I understand, going back to this,
that's a good idea, Steve.
Star Trek Online crafting part 2. The Aegis system does get a revamp, but from what I understand, if you already have the Aegis system, it's not going to get the same revamp.
Right. The pre-existing Aegis sets won't get boosted or buffed.
Yeah, so they're going to...
You have to remake new ones.
Yes. So a little bit disappointed there. I would have liked a way of upgrading, but, that's fine.
I'm personally okay with that. I really am.
I would have liked to see something like what they did on the in the low-buy store with the Jimadar set.
Exactly.
And then you purchase a pack in the low-buy store and
it upgrades it.
Bumped it up. But, that's fine. But, some of the other items that we're going to be seeing is, like, for instance, there's a beam that with 360-degree firing arc. Now, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dual heavy cannons has been modified to fire in a 90-degree arc. That's up from 45.
Right.
There's a new type of plasma torpedo launcher that produces a cloud of plasma that can take out your opponent's engines temporarily, as well as anyone within a close proximity. So that's kind of interesting.
And, 1 kilometer diameter, which is pretty cool.
We're getting a version of the TR-116.
Oh, it's Lem's shooty gun. That's what I call it.
Yes, it's
her pop gun.
B. They're calling it the B. So that's the gun that in DS9, used transporters and real bullets to kill people. So ought to be interesting. I guess it's going to bypass a lot of shields.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see where. But what's great is I can see now over the course of time where PvP has become relevant again. Maybe.
Huh?
I mean, PvP. I guess PvP was never relevant for you, right?
Never relevant for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that with the options that people are going to have with this on top of all of the fleet gear that they have, that PvP could become relevant again. And I think that people just need to have...
Now, if this gun allows me to shoot through walls, yeah, PvP is going to become relevant, let me tell you.
Well, do we have a message from somebody, my dear? Because we need to talk a little bit about it.
I can't play that.
Oh, you can't play it. So
because
all in all, we got a voicemail message, right? I can't play it either. We got a voicemail message from Mr. Baz, who took the opportunity to let us know about some of the community happenings in Star Trek Online for Foundry authors and the Foundry community, which I thought was very interesting. And Mike, you responded by writing a fan dance on our website this week in response to what's going on over in the forums at Star Trek Online and with the Foundry Community. You want to tighten up a little bit about what that's about?
You're referring to my semi-rage?
I don't even think it was a semi-rage. I thought it was a very well-crafted...
So, Mike, you're saying you had a semi-rager?
Well, thing is, when I first saw it, I wanted to rage. I wanted to, but then when I actually sat down to write it, I had calmed down a little bit, and I started focusing on what was important, and just, it kind of evolved from there. But essentially, so the group over at Starbase UGC, they're spearheading the development of a new outside of game sector block. So, which happens to coincide with the fact that in Star Trek Online, there are removing the exploration sectors and setting up Foundry doors where those used to be. So, but what they wanted to do was develop a sector block to kind of sort of, create everything within it, an area for exploration. I think Terry has the link here.
Right. It sounds to me like they're removing the exploration clusters for a dual purpose. The clusters now become a fixed point in space in the game where you can now travel to get unique duty officer assignments specifically for crafting, for R&D. So you can now go to Delta Volanus or the Azura Nebula or other places where there were clusters that used to have those exploration missions. The exploration missions have been disconnected, but when your ship appears at the cluster site, it now provides you with a new unique list of R&D DOF missions. And the reasoning behind the cluster removal was twofold. One, let's face it, the missions in the clusters were lame, right? The missions that you could do in the clusters were just kind of regurgitated the same scan 5 nodes or kill 25 Klingons or kill 25 Borg. They were all variations of the same theme. There was no real exploration. There was no real first contacts. There was no real using your own brain. There was nothing. It was just regurgitative, simple missions. And those missions, to Cryptic's credit, they admit do not live up to their standards. So they are removing them. And you have to assume that they're removing them in preparation for what will be the next expansion, which has been announced to be released towards the end of the year. And everybody's assuming that will include an exploration overhaul, which is huge. That would be awesome. So we're getting new R&D now to let us get prepared for what will probably be a revamp of exploration. And I don't know, maybe some additional levels to level 60? We'll see.
PF Dennis points out that the Starbase UGC sector project has nothing to do with the exploration cluster. It just happens to be the timing is similar. They have been discussing it for 6 months. But as I was saying, when I first heard about the project, I got a little angry. I mean, what my issue with it was, here's another Foundry project that is going through, which is great because it allows people to work together and collaborate and whatnot, which I'm all for. However, once again, it seemed to me like they were still ignoring the bigger issue with Foundry, and that's the lack of development. And the reason why there's so little development on the developer by the devs for it is because they can't monetize it. So I've
which I think every Foundry user and author knows at their heart knows is true. I think they know it. I think that they believe it. But the fact is that they still love the Foundry and warts and all. They find a way to make amazing things with it.
Mm-hmm. So I put together a brief article, explaining a little bit of my experience with Foundry, a little bit of STO's history with Foundry, and then why it's important to monetize it in order to get it developed and to keep it going and to keep it fresh, because it gets stale after a while. And the only time that it truly gets updated, it seems like, is A, if it breaks, and B, if it's not expensive to fix. And then any new additions is created based on the time of individual developers in between projects. There's like no attention really given to Foundry. So to me that was a more pressing issue that the community should have been focused on. or should try to find a solution for. And, well, since then, I've started putting together I guess we can call it a task force. And we have started to brainstorm and come up with ideas on how we can rectify this issue. And hopefully, once we have a solid idea down, we will present it to Cryptic and see where it goes from there.
I guess I don't disagree. Sensei, I'll disagree. She doesn't believe that their lack of work on the Foundry has nothing to do with it not being monetizable. She says it has everything to do with the fact that it took Cryptic 2 years to make PWE's #1 list item, monetized crafting. They've been working on everything else. Right. Again, so you just proved our point. They've been working on shit they can monetize.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is
they've been working on everything else because everything else is monetized.
Easier to monetize. The reason why Foundry isn't is because they don't know how.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they've said in the past.
Right. There is a very fine line between monetizing an avenue of the game where you're not really producing the actual content, correct? The playable content's made by somebody else. If they can find a way to not only to have people do their work for them, because really that's the perception, that Foundry authors make content for play, meaning they're doing a job that Cryptic developers don't have to do now, and they find a way to monetize it, meaning that they are going to get paid so other people can make content, that would be amazingly remarkable. But right now they're not going to invest in the art or any other work that goes into creating content items or even anything else that can be used in the tool, unless they're going to see an ROI on it. And they're not going to see an ROI because there's no way for them to make money off of it yet. So I respectfully disagree, son. I think it has everything to do with the fact that the Foundry is not monetized. Yeah, and PF Dennis, I think lockboxes. Are you talking about lockboxes in Foundry missions? Because they don't drop in Foundry, correct, Mike?
I'm not sure.
I no. Okay, so lockboxes do not drop in Foundry missions. So are you guys saying that you would be okay with a special lockbox dropping in Foundry missions?
That is kind of what they're saying. But can the game really support a whole nother lockbox?
Yeah. The problem becomes, how many people would what content would they make? And again, that's an investment. What would they be doing? It's like, you would be able to open up not a special DOF pack, but say a special art pack. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, but if the person is not a Foundry author,
exactly,
that pack has no use for them.
Right. No, the boxes would be for players. Okay. Yeah, that would be a little bit difficult. I think it would be a little bit difficult to add a second lockbox feature or function into the game. I'm sure tech-wise, I don't know.
The problem that I think is you have to be able to give something that the average everyday player will want. Well, I mean, in terms of
look at what happened to
reward.
the Foundry the last time they attached dilithium to it.
No, lockbox with dilithium.
Right. That's not going to happen.
They already have those where you do the dilithium mining thing.
Right. I mean, you can go mine dilithium anywhere. And
I don't know.
What they're looking for is a cash influx, something that covers the cost of the actual artists to do support work, correct? Is that what we're looking for?
Essentially.
And that's what Foundry is dealing with now. When was the last time the Foundry was updated?
Well, Nick had just recently given us a few items. He had spent his spare time, to add a few things to the Foundry.
That's nice. Thank you, Tumor Boy.
But that was, again, stuff in his own spare time. There's really no focused, effort.
Well, there's no assigned group, right? There is no assigned group. They lost those people before Neverwinter went live.
So it's kind of disappointing because I mean, I've been playing around with one idea, I think I've shared it with Terry and a few people that I've spoken to, but everything that goes into it goes straight into Foundry, yet it would all benefit everyone. So it's the idea that I'm playing with, but it's also a very costly one, and there's no guarantee that it would, be successful. Lockboxes are fairly cheap and easy to whip out, but it's another lockbox. I don't know. It's a tough situation.
Yeah, and it is true. I mean, we do know that, and we were told even when I was still with Podcast UGC, we were told long ago that STO Foundry really was the test bed for Neverwinter's Foundry, and not unlike things that we've seen with other games and the way that other games are treated in comparison to Star Trek Online, Champions Online, that you see that there is a hierarchy of importance between game sets. Champions is the redheaded stepsister. There's no doubt about it. It is the redheaded stepchild of the Cryptic family. It gets no love. STO gets love for everything that it can monetize because it has an active player base. And since the Legacy of Romulus was put into the game was revived. And since it went free to play, it was totally revamped as well. When it went free to play, they decided to use, or I can assume they decided to use the Foundry as the test bed and test code for what they were really working on, which was a way for Dungeons and Dragons fans to create and build their own dungeons in D&D's Neverwinter. And I don't know what Neverwinter's going to be to the games that they are developing on top of that, the quote-unquote secret projects. We do know that they're always in development, and that's how companies work. They take the investment of the other money and then they diversify and broaden and strengthen. So the Foundry happens to be a piece that was never meant to be monetized and yet sucks up. It just sucks up your artist's work. It sucks up salary is what it does. And when you have salary...
I'm sad to say it, but it's a money pit. In terms of from a business point of view, all it does is a hole where you keep shoveling in cash.
Exactly. And there is no business person who's going to allow the continuation of that. And it's obvious. I mean, 2 years later, after I've left, a year plus later, after I've left Podcast UGC, everything we talked about then has come to fruition now. The Foundry is still a fantastic tool. It is still being used by some of the most amazing Foundry community authors I've ever seen. I mean, some of the greatest Star Trek stuff is being told in Foundry today. Are they going to get new stuff? No, I don't think they're going to. And if they do, it will be because they will have found a way to stop the financial bleeding. And if it makes enough money to make a not one, but 2-digit profit on that division, then they would consider it.
Paul says early on, authors never wanted monetization, but that attitude has changed. And I have to admit, this is not the first time I've come up with this, brought attention to this issue. The first time I was practically booed off stage, so to speak, right. Or the forum equivalent of that.
Right.
Mike, can you say that again? I lost you.
He said that he got.
Oh, I just said that my response that I received from that article was the forum equivalent of being booed off stage. And this time I found a lot more people were willing to consider it, to talk about it, to share, some ideas about it. So the community definitely has changed. And I believe a lot of that has to do with the fact that there ain't shit happening in Foundry in terms of new things being developed for it.
Right.
And
now the spotlight oddly enough, the spotlight returned this week.
Which is great. It's a first step, but
yeah.
There's a lot more that they can do and that needs to be done. Another way to bring more attention that has been talked about a little bit, I think, and I agree with, is some kind of Foundry reputation. I think that would be a very interesting way to encourage people to, although people have to, they have to figure out ways to make sure that it's not exploitable. And then,
I think Paul says he thought that people thought the article, your Fan Dance article, was a little bit down on their project. And it might have been. And it kind of is. There's no doubt that you felt that their energies would be better spent trying to find a way to monetize the Foundry. But we're not poo-pooing your community's effort to create another unique thing, which is pretty fucking cool.
No, I agree. I think it's great that there is these projects and that it's getting people to collaborate and stuff. But again, my issue, what made me mad was, again, no one was really trying to address the biggest issue with Foundry.
Right. And Paul did bring up a good point, and he said, early on, authors never never wanted that monetization. You already touched on that, Mike, and that's correct. And look where that got them. And now that attitude has changed, but it's also a 2020 hindsight type of thing. In my opinion, again, I think everybody's too late. I think the Foundry is the way it's going to be. I think the Foundry is going to be a tool that's there for people who want to use it in its current state. I don't think that we're going to see a lot of support. I don't think we're going to see anything other than artists volunteering to help put in some new assets or anything along those lines. But I think the Foundry growth is dead. I hate to be cruel, but it's how I see it. And I hate to say it, but the past year and a half has done nothing but prove me right. And I'm sorry for the Foundry community on top of that, because you deserve to have all of those tools. Unfortunately, they're just not cost effective. And from that business point of view, if it doesn't make money, then it should not be invested into. Why do you think we're getting so much of the reputation system? Why? Yeah. Because it's fucking working. It's getting them money. Believe it or not, that's exactly what's bringing people into the game. People bitch and moan and about grind, but damn it, that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, so, I mean, I do agree with a lot of what you're saying, Terry. Although, oops, I should not have done that. 1 second. Paul says that you don't know how to get them to monetize. I wish we could. Well, that's kind of what the project that I'm kind of sort of spearheading is going to be looking at and finding what ways to do is to come up with a proposal, something. The first step obviously is brainstorm, come up with ideas that could work, and then write a proposal that basically a business plan, so to speak, looking at how all the various aspects of it, what it costs, what in terms of resources and art and personnel
it's funny,
and whatnot.
And Matthew Anderson brings up in the chat room, he says to get them to add assets they sell in like packs. You and I have discussed this for months, for years. We talked about that when I was still at Podcast UGC. Av has talked about it. I'm sure that everybody and their mother has talked about why don't they sell asset packs? And you have to be exactly. And PF Dennis says we've always been told that they won't do anything that costs them money. And creating assets costs them money. And if they've already done the numbers about the potential buyers of an asset pack, if it doesn't cover their costs to make those assets, they're not going to sell them. And I think that's what this is coming down to.
Which is true. I mean, they're not going to put money in for a very small population of people, which is one of the goals that I have set, or one of the conditions for the idea is it has to be appealing to the general player base.
Right.
The general player base, they're the ones that has to fund the Foundry.
Right.
They're the ones that have to make it happen. If we don't get their support, it ain't going to happen at all.
Right.
And one of the ideas that I've been playing with, I guess I'm just going to spoil it here, is the idea of like a holodeck adventure. You buy a holodeck adventure, say Captain Proton, right? So you get a small, quick little mission for a modest price on the Foundry or from the Zen store. And
actually, wouldn't it be smart to get it from Quarks? Just saying.
Well, but everything that gets created in that pack unlocks also on the Foundry side for that account. So, for instance, a Foundry author that buys the pack receives all those assets, or buys that adventure, gets all those assets added to their Foundry for use. Whereas the average everyday player, they get to be Captain Proton for a day. I think that's the way to kind of build up the Foundry while getting the average everyday player to pay for it.
Well, here's a question, and it's a tough one. It's a tough one, especially for Foundry authors that have been writing for years and developing for years. How would you feel if they gut the entire thing and gave us the code that is better? I mean, what would you feel about an entire gutting the system of? Well, again, Paul brings it up. A good point. That would cost money too. The fact of the matter is, and I'm wondering how. I'm more curious now about this idea of. I misunderstood the Foundry community, the Starbase UGC's intent when they talked about building this Foundry cluster and. And I'm excited for them because they're building a world within a world. And now that I understand that it's kind of all out of game, right? They're creating this entire sector block that will have its own set of planets, its own set of people. They're building a Foundry world within itself and allowing that collaboration between Foundry authors. It's not unlike RPG games that we do in a writing or in a forum-based type of situation. They're just going to be doing it
It's kind
that
of like
way.
they're building a Bible for a new sector that people can reference, and there's going to be missions created in game that reference that material.
So they're going. Okay, so I guess my question is this going to be a wiki of sorts where people can say, this is my character and this is my world and and this is how they will interact in the new.
From what I understand, they're asking for people to get involved, but I think what they're wanting to do is, for instance, develop everything that's in the sector. So, for instance, what civilizations, what alien species, what planets or systems, that way that they have like certain things that they can plan or include as they're working through their storyline. Because apparently there's going to be a story, there's going to be related missions that are going to be referred to as official. And then there's non-canon missions, which are, like the standalone adventures that pop up here and there that have really nothing to do with anything, but are still in the region.
Okay, and so really that's what it is. This is just a huge RPG area that they're creating for their own stories and characters.
I think so. I mean, I still don't have all the details. I think although it's been 6 months in planning, they're still in the planning phase. From what I understand, they're still.
This is a huge project. I mean, it's a huge project, and I'm excited for them because it gives the community something to invest in, even though the Foundry is as PF Dennis. By the way, PF Dennis puts in the chat room that he's been loudly fighting for Foundry since day one. On his show and on Starbase UGC? Absolutely. We know that, and that's why we love you. And I don't want to diss the Foundry. The Foundry itself and the community is amazing. They're some of the most creative, amazing people I've ever met, and it's why we still want to make sure that Foundry trailers are shown at the convention. We need to show people that the Foundry tool fucking exists. The problem we have is, in the realities of things, we've all been told by the higher-ups at Cryptic that the Foundry is pretty much the lowest of low priorities now. And it's a sad, sad commentary, but it's true. So as a community, you guys are coming up with one way to combat hearing or not hearing about the Foundry, and Mike is going at it from a different point of view, and that is, why can't you guys do it from two different efforts? One is, how can we make this more exciting for the general player? And the community is kind of branching off onto its own, saying, we've always been well established. You guys are just laying a longer foundation now. And I think that's wonderful. It can both happen. If there's ever a way for the Foundry to be monetized, you might see that support start coming back from Cryptic. But until such time as and I think we all know it, until such time as there is a profit center there, it will remain the tool that it is. And that's not to say that the tool sucks, because it doesn't, because you guys are making some amazing stories. So the Foundry is as just as it can get already. It has to be a twofold effort. I'm excited for the project that you guys are doing. I think it's very, very fun. It's not unlike what my friends over at it's called, let me see if I get this right. I think it's called United Trek, where Sam Redfeather and Mike Garcia and those guys have developed their own fan fiction universe. All of their characters and all of their novels interact with each other on some way, shape, or form. That's what this is. It's a united group effort where you've created a separate universe that offshoots from somebody else. And I'm excited about playing those missions when you guys get it all settled. It'll be fun.
One last thing real quick. Because we are wanting to draw attention to Foundry with the idea. The holodeck adventure idea I've proposed and have gotten a little bit of interest, but about is possibly having these adventures being written by official Star Trek authors as their professional version of Foundry, so to speak. So that might be, another way to kind of sort of encourage, show that it's
Hey, why not? I mean,
It's
David
a
Gerald
more
and
professional
Harlan Ellison
version.
and all those guys. Yeah, they're working on phase 2. Why not?
a more professional version of the Foundry, so to speak. So I don't know. Like I said, it's still a work in progress, and the cluster project that the Starbase UGC guys are working on, I think it's fantastic. I wish them luck. And but for me, I definitely need to. I want. This is the project that I'm getting involved in. I need more in Foundry. I need more. Give me more.
Well, I can understand that. Well, Nick, you've been a trooper.
Thanks.
I think you fell asleep.
No, I'm here.
We do have some announcements. Nick, you want to pitch Baltimore Comic Con one more time, please?
Baltimore Comic Con is the 5th, 6th, and 7th at Baltimore Convention Center, and beautiful downtown, down at the Inner Harbor area. It's going to be quite amazing. It draws a lot of people. So if you're on the East Coast and you can make it, I highly recommend it. And the costume contest is Sunday there.
Oh, the costume. Okay, cool. Very cool.
I thought it was Saturday, but it's Sunday, which kind of surprised me.
I'm getting Sensei L's bringing up something in the chat room that I think is kind of cool. She's right. I do get on Hollywood for not taking risks. I absolutely do, and I'm not getting, and she's dissing me because I'm not getting on Cryptic for not taking risks. Sensei L, I to a point, I agree with you. I wish they would.
Well,
I really do. I wish they would.
It's not a risk. They know that it's a money pit. I mean,
and therein lies the issue.
The risk would be in order to experiment and test to try to make Foundry profitable. That's the risk. That's the risk that they need to be taking.
Agreed.
And that's what we're trying to do.
And that's what we're trying to pitch. We believe that the Foundry is worth trying to find a creative way to make profitable.
Save Foundry.
Yeah, it would be great. The fact of the matter is that I've seen how Cryptic works, and I've seen how tight they are on personnel, and the fact of the matter is that they doubled their personnel in the past two years. And what have we gotten from it? Well, we've gotten a big old expansion. We've gotten 4 new updates, and another expansion's coming, all of which makes money for them. And that's my damnedest frustration, is that I could see it. I could see it coming, and I could see where the Foundry was going to be there. Well, yeah, talk about what happened to the Gateway. Look, don't even talk to me about what happened to the Gateway. The Gateway certainly seemed to be a risk worth taking for Neverwinter. Just saying. I still don't use ARC. Do you?
Nope.
Just saying. And Mike, any other announcements?
Let me think a moment. We like us on all of our social media. We're gonna be we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. I'm in the middle. I'm currently processing a new website update. Thinking on it, figuring out what I want to do, what direction I want the site to go into. So there'll be more on that coming out soon.
What's the matter, Nick?
What's the matter, Nick?
Nothing.
Oh, you sounded like you were
sighing.
Yeah, right.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh.
Book club. That's an announcement. We had one recently.
That's an announcement.
We'll be having another one again soon.
We have not yet set the date for the next book club down in stone, only because our lives are going to be turned upside down at the end of the month due to Star Trek Las Vegas. But we will be discussing book 1 of Star Trek Cold Equations: The Persistence of Memory by David Mack. That would be David Allen Mack, not the other David Mack. And our last book club was very fun. We had a very good time. It was just me and Midnight and Sorry, and we talked about book 1 of the Typhon Pact, which was Zero Sum Game, it was great to talk about Esri.
Mm-hmm. I had fun talking about the Marine.
Right. Now, where can people please get the word out, have them join our Facebook page, like our Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter at SundayGNT, and you can follow me at TerryLynnS, that's TerryLynnS. Nick, where can people follow you?
At Gettysburg 7, and that's the number 7. Oh, and I just remembered, July 22nd, Face Off returns with the Westmore connection.
Very cool.
Oh, DEF CON put something into chat. The schedule for the books coming out in 2015 is starting to flush out.
Sweet.
Oh, wow.
January, DS9 The Missing by Una McCormick. February, TNG's Takedown by John Jackson Miller. March will give us TOS Savage Trade by Tony Daniel. April, Enterprise Rise of the Federation Uncertain Logic by Christopher L. Bennett. May has TOS Crisis of Conscience by Dave Galanter.
Dave Galantner, yeah, he's a regular Farpoint attendees. Matter of fact, I believe he's moving to the same town I live in.
In June 2015, we will see TNG's Armageddon's Arrow by Dayton Ward.
Oh.
And then October, now what happens to July through August or September, I don't know yet. But in October, TOS Shadow of the Machine ebook by Scott Harrison. The date apparently is listed on Amazon. So
now, if you'll see here, he puts in there that the other confirmed books are Voyager Atonement by Kirsten Beyer, which is likely to be released in July or September. Titan, Sight Unseen by James Swallow. Then Enterprise Rise of the Federation, number 4 by Christopher L. Bennett, which is great. Those Enterprise books are awesome. And then Seekers 3 and 4 by David Mack, Dayton Ward, and Kevin Dillmore will start to come out. So those dates have not yet been set in stone. So I have a feeling those will fill in some of the blanks that are up above.
Right on. Oh, speaking of books, as I've mentioned earlier on, I've been reading the DTI novels, and I'm loving it. And I'm halfway through the second one. Now, there isn't a third one yet. I hope there is eventually, but anyways, I'm missing reading Voyager. I want to read some Voyager, but I don't know what the next Voyager book I should pick up.
Well, what's the last one you read?
The last one that you had suggested, which was the one, the two-parter where they just got home and they're dealing with
go to the ones that Kristen Beyer's written. Read those.
Okay, so jump to the Kristen Beyer books.
Yes.
Alrighty. So I'll figure out what those titles are.
Full Circle, Unworthy. I can't remember the names of all of them, but yeah, those.
Okay.
We will make sure that the link to the Trek Collective's listing for the 2015 calendar gets put on our website and put on our show notes, so you guys can click to it when you hear this show. Head over to thetrekcollective.com and you can read these awesome stuff. Very excited. I'm very excited about the Seekers. Where's my books? Where's my Seekers books, guys? Oh, so I think that pretty much does it for the day. And a big swift kick in the nards to Entertainment Weekly for stealing our idea. Just say, Ask
Dayton is the original.
So popular that W had to be cheapo and stuff. And
somebody make sure Dayton knows about this.
I'm gonna take a picture of it and post it on Facebook and say, what the fuck?
And I look forward to my day in court with Harlan Ellison.
Matter of fact, let me do that right now. I'll get my little iPad out.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us.
Thank you guys.
It's been
Have
a
great week. And hopefully, what?
Oh no, I burped.
Oh, I was gonna say, guess what? Join us next week for episode 150.
And we have a guest lined up. Is that correct, Mike?
Secret stuff.
Secret stuff, and we do.
I didn't say who. All I said is we have a guest. You get to throw a teaser out there.
Well, now they're going to start guessing and whatnot. I wanted to, just go surprise, we have a guest, fill in the blank.
Oh, they won't guess who she is.
You need to tease these things. You need to tease these things.
You won't guess who she is.
You're gonna be
and we're also going to have a really great supplemental log this week, everybody. Director James Kerwin and actress Kipley Brown, who will be joining us at Star Trek Las Vegas, will also be joining us this week for the recording of a special supplemental log. So if you have questions for either one of them, please feel free to send them in to hosts@gntshow.com, and we will be happy to ask those questions on your behalf. Until next week, thank you, DEF CON. Thank you, everybody, for listening and participating in our Foundry conversation. And we will catch you next week for episode 150. Bye.
Kapla.
Jolan True.
GNT Show is a Busy Little Beaver production.
Music for the GNT Show is provided by Warp 11, Grethor, 5-Year Mission, and Andrew Allen's Smooth Federation.
Gonna take a 5-year tour. Boldly go where no man's gone before. Gonna travel to the end and make new friends.
new worlds. Beam on down and meet some green girls. Gonna see what we can see. A fancy free galaxy. To boldly go where no man's gone before. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Come and take a tour with me. There'll be no cons or Kobayashi. I'm gonna travel to the end and make new friends with aliens. To boldly go where no man's gone before. Space heavy. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G